Hello. What y'all doing? Come on. Come on. It's time to make Patsy you, honey. Ingredients. You're going to need some Thai chili peppers. You're going to need some accent, MSG. You're going to need some vinegar, some fish sauce, garlic. You're going to need rice noodles. You can use whatever brand you want. I'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on. You're going to need some Golden Mountain seasoning sauce, oyster sauce, dark soy sauce, less sodium soy sauce. I'm going to be using some Chinese broccoli. You can use whatever you would like. If you can't get that, you can use regular. Well, I wouldn't say regular. You can use broccolini. I wouldn't use regular broccoli. Use broccolini or baby bok choy or something like that. I got some sugar here. I got some water. And the meat that I'm going to be using is top round steak. You can do chicken. You can do shrimp. You can do it without meat completely. You see that? You see that? You see that? Don't ask me for no damn ingredient list. Come on. All right, now, if y'all anything like me, you love you some Thai food, baby. When I lived in New York City doing my show on Off-Broadway, I was probably eating Thai food at least 4 or 5 times a week, and it got out of control, and one of my favorite things to eat was pad see ew. And one of the things that I always loved that it came with was like this vinegar kind of like dressing that you could kind of drizzle over the top. Doing my research, I realized that all it really was some Thai chili peppers, a little bit of vinegar, and a little splash of sugar. So we're going to make some today and see if I can recreate it. Now, of course, I'm not going to be using all of these chilies because that's unnecessary. And the only people that's going to be eating this is me and the boyfriend. So I'm just going to make a tiny amount. I will let you guys know how many of these little peppers I chopped up when I get done. And then I'll let you know how much vinegar and sugar we're going to put into this. But you want to do this first so that this has time to marinate. I'll be right back. Altogether, y'all, I used 20 of these Thai chili peppers altogether. The rest of these I'm going to freeze and then use them as I want. So now I got my chilies in my bowl here nice and chopped up. I'm going to add in a half a cup of white vinegar to this, a half a cup. And then to that, I'm also going to add in a half a teaspoon of some white sugar. You can also use, actually, you know what? I want to use less. I'm going to use 1/4 of a teaspoon of sugar. I'm just going to add that in. I'm going to give this a mix around, and that is it, you guys. There's nothing more to this. I'm going to put the lid on this and place this in the refrigerator. You could also use monk fruit in this, which I wish I had, but I ran out. So this will be great. I'm going to put the top on this. You want to do this a few hours beforehand. All right, let's talk about the sauce, because the sauce is what's important. In this measuring cup, I have 2 tablespoons of less sodium soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of dark soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 tablespoon of the Golden Mountain sauce, 1/8 of a teaspoon of fish sauce. Please do not freehand that, because if you put in too much, it's not even going to taste like what it's supposed to taste like. This isn't even traditionally in pad see ew. I don't think. It's just something that I like, which is the reason why I just use just a little tiny bit. I also have 1 tablespoon of water as well as 1 tablespoon of sugar. Give that a good mix. Set that to the side. Also, a little pro tip. If you are using beef, and let's say it's not already pre-shredded like mine is not, because I wanted to use a particular cut of steak, plop it in the freezer for about 15-20 minutes so that it can start to get kind of firm. That way it's easier for you to slice it in thin slices. Now that this is good to go, I can set this to the side until it's time for us to start slicing up the steak. Now, although I am adding steak as my protein to this dish, the steak is not what is, the focal point here. So I had 3 of these steaks here. I'm actually only going to be using 2 because this is more than enough. And as you guys can see, like I said, I plopped this in the freezer for about 20-30 minutes. I didn't want it to get completely frozen, but just stiff enough so that I could go in with a really sharp knife and cut these into really, really thin slices. But I'm only going to use 2 of them because 3 is just too much. And again, the focus in this is really the noodles, the Chinese broccoli, and that delicious sauce. But as you can see, I got these in nice thin shreds. So now let's go ahead and get some seasoning on these and marinate these, because it only needs to marinate for about 30 minutes. I got my steak here in a container. I'm going to go in with a half a teaspoon of some white pepper. And then I'm going to go in with a few dashes of soy sauce. This is still the less sodium. You don't need too much, just a little bit. That's probably no more than a half a tablespoon, if even that, to be quite honest. I'm going to go in, give this a good mix around. I'm going to put the lid on this and then put this in the refrigerator to let marinate for about 30 to 40 minutes. Doesn't have to be that long. No need to be doing it overnight. It's not that serious. I know you guys might think that there's not enough seasoning on this, but trust me, you do not add any salt to this. There is more than enough salt in all of these soy sauces and oyster sauces that we're using. If you do that, I'm telling you, it's going to be a salty mess. Just allow this to do what it needs to do. This is just to impart some flavor on this. Plop the lid on it, put it in the fridge until it's time to start cooking. Before we move on to the rice noodles, I actually want to focus on our Chinese cabbage. Now, once again, this is what Chinese cabbage looks like, okay? Again, if you can't get your hands on this, use broccolini. If you absolutely have to, you can use regular broccoli, use bok choy, something along those lines. I'm going to give these a rough chop. Now, you want to use the stem in this. So we're going to do the stem, and we're going to sit the stems to the side because we're also going to be cooking that at a different time. So for right now, I just want to go in, take off the stems. I actually don't even need this much. This is a lot. This is actually the perfect amount. I don't need any more than this because I'm only making this for about 2 people. And so now I'm just going to go in and I'm going to give this a rough chop. You want the leaves to be kind of big. Don't cut them down too small because they will wilt down. So I'm going to go now, give all of this a good rinsing off, and then I'm going to separate the leaves from the stems. I'll be right back. All right, now that I have gone on ahead and washed my Chinese broccoli, as you can see, I'm taking those stems that I had and I'm literally just breaking them down. I'm cutting them in half and then doing it one more time because as you can see, it's really thick. So you just want to cut it in half one time like that and then one more time again. So that way you'll end up with more kind of matchsticks. Doesn't have to be any particular size. This will just kind of help cook it down a little bit earlier. And also when you go in for your bites, you don't want to be chomping down on large chunks of stock. So. All right, so y'all can see I have my rice noodles here. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm not going to go into too many details on exactly how to prepare these because, to be quite honest, every packet of rice noodles has different instructions. What I will say is this. Even if you're using the fresh ones, go in, hot water, cover them for 1 minute, allow them to break apart. It's also going to help them from sticking later on down the line. All right, y'all, so we have everything prepped and ready to go. The Chinese cabbage, our marinated steak. I forgot to mention this earlier, but you're also going to need 2 large eggs, some ginger paste, and I'm going to mince down about 3 cloves of this garlic. We have our accent right here, our rice noodles that have been separated, and our sauce. In my wok, I have about 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil getting up to temp. All right, y'all, we're going to go in and add in our beef. Go in with a little bit of the accent salt. Once your beef is partially cooked, add in the minced the minced garlic, and then in about a teaspoon or so of the ginger paste. Adding in that ginger paste. Give it a good mix. My steak is looking how I want it to look. I'm going to go in and add in the broccoli, the stems, so that they can cook because they're going to take a little bit longer. Mix that together as well. All right, y'all, so now that you can see our steak bits and the bark of the broccoli is starting to get some nice coloring on them, now we can go on ahead and start to add in the egg. Add in your egg mixture and allow this to fry up before you mix it in. All right, so this is at a soft scramble, so we can now go on ahead and fully mix in all of this together. Add in your rice noodles. Now that I've gotten this fully mixed in, I'm going to allow this to sit on the bottom for a few seconds. I want to get some nice char on this before I add in the sauce. I'm going to go in and add in the broccoli leaves, give that a good mix. Now that I got that mix, I'm going to go in and add in that delicious sauce and fully mix this around. Now that we got this fully incorporated, we're going to allow this to char a little bit more so that some of the sugar from the soy sauce and the oyster sauce can start to caramelize. And just like that, we have some delicious beef pad see ew. You guys, I hope y'all try this out. I let this char a little bit. Now it's time to go in for the taste test. Let's do it. All right, final looks before we go in for the taste test. All right, y'all, let's do it. All right, y'all, so I'm going to go in for the taste test. I've added in a little bit of the spicy vinegar on the top. I'm going to go in, taste this, tell y'all what I think. Babe is here. He's going to try it clearly, but I'm going to do a little separate video for him. But here we go. Let's see. My God, on today. Make this. Goodbye.
Slaying in the kitchen. Simply Food by TY. We hope that you enjoyed it. Simply Food by TY. If you haven't took the time, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.